It is 3:33 a.m. on a quiet Tuesday morning, and the world is asleep while the servers hum in the darkness. Deep inside a data center in Northern Virginia, a cooling fan spins silently, guarding the sum of human knowledge. Suddenly, a quantum decoherence event, triggered by a classified experiment, sends a magnetic pulse through the Earth's crust. This pulse does not destroy electricity or light bulbs. It targets the magnetic polarity of every hard drive on the planet. In a fraction of a millisecond, the zeros become ones, and the ones become zeros, creating a wall of white static. You wake up to your alarm clock ringing, reach for your smartphone, and see a message that says, "Factory reset." You think it is a glitch, a software bug, so you try to restart the phone, but the screen remains blank. You do not realize yet that every photo of your children, every email you ever sent, and every contact number is gone. This is the digital amnesia simulation, where we explore a world that has kept the hardware but lost its memory. We are not just losing the internet connection. We are losing the history, the ownership, and the identity of civilization. To understand the scale of this, you have to realize that 99% of all information created by humans exists only as magnetic code. We stopped printing photos in 2005. We stopped printing bank statements in 2010. We stopped printing maps in 2015. Let's enter this collapse through the eyes of Elena, a senior data architect for a massive cloud storage firm in Silicon Valley. She rushes to her office, hoping the backups in the cold storage underground bunkers have survived the magnetic event. She types her password into the terminal, but the terminal does not know who she is, or even what a password is. The operating system itself has been wiped, leaving the multi-million-dollar servers as useless piles of silicon and plastic. Elena watches as her colleagues frantically pull out hard drives, hoping to recover even a fragment of the corrupted data. But the platters are blank. The cloud has evaporated, and with it, the records of billions of users worldwide. By hour 4, the global banking system wakes up to the realization that money is nothing more than a history of transactions. You walk into your bank branch to withdraw cash, but the teller cannot look up your account number or balance. The bank manager stands on a desk and announces that all operations are frozen because the ledger has ceased to exist. If the bank cannot prove you have $50,000 and you cannot prove you have $50,000, does the money exist? This triggers the Great Financial Reset, a chaotic moment where everyone is instantly bankrupt and debt-free simultaneously. Your mortgage record is gone, meaning the bank cannot prove you owe them money for your house. But conversely, the stock market has no record of who owns Apple or Tesla, erasing trillions of dollars of wealth instantly. Pension funds, which exist only as digital spreadsheets, vanish, leaving the elderly with absolutely nothing but their physical possessions. By day 2, the crisis moves from finance to the physical supply chain, which relies entirely on digital inventory tracking. A Walmart distribution center is full of food, but the automated robots don't know where the boxes are located. The scanners used by truck drivers to log deliveries are bricked, meaning no one knows what is in the trucks. Store managers have to manually count items on shelves with pen and paper, a skill that was forgotten decades ago. You go to the pharmacy to get your prescription, but the pharmacist has no record of what medicine you take. The digital health record system, which centralized all patient data, is now a blank screen of death. If you don't have your physical pill bottle with the label, the doctor cannot legally or safely prescribe you anything. Millions of diabetics and heart patients are left guessing their dosages, leading to a massive spike in medical emergencies. By day 7, the legal system collapses because the evidence required to keep criminals in prison has disappeared. Court records, digital fingerprints, and DNA databases were all stored on servers that are now empty. Lawyers for inmates flood the courthouses, demanding the immediate release of prisoners because there is no proof of their crimes. Prisons face a dilemma: keep people illegally without records, or release potentially dangerous felons into the streets. This is the clean slate scenario, where your credit score, your criminal record, and your reputation are wiped clean. For the poor and the indebted, this is a miracle. For the wealthy and the established, it is the apocalypse. Elena is back at her house, looking for a physical photo album to show her daughter what her grandmother looked like. She realizes she hasn't printed a photo in 10 years. All the memories were on her phone, which is now empty. This is the psychological horror of digital amnesia. The realization that we have severed the link to our own past. A generation of children will have no baby photos, no videos of their first steps, and no record of their youth. By month 1, the government attempts to rebuild the tax base by sending census takers door to door with clipboards. They have to ask you who you are, where you live, and how much property you own, because the IRS database is gone. People lie. They claim they own the house they are renting. They claim they have 10 children to get more rations. Without a central database to verify the truth, society reverts to a system of high trust or total deceit. The issuance of passports and driver's licenses stops because the Department of State cannot verify citizenship. Borders are sealed completely because border agents cannot scan passports to check for terrorists or criminals. You are trapped in your country and likely trapped in your state because you cannot prove you are who you say you are. Identity theft becomes the new norm. If you find a deed to a house, you own the house. By month 3, the scientific community faces a catastrophic regression known as the knowledge gap. Research papers, climate models, and complex engineering formulas were stored on university servers, not on paper. Engineers trying to fix the power grid realize they don't have the schematics for the nuclear plants anymore. They have to reverse engineer the machines they built, opening panels to see how the wires connect. We discover that we didn't just lose data. We lost the recipe for civilization. Pharmaceutical companies can't manufacture complex drugs because the precise chemical formulas were digital. Elena joins a recovery group in her neighborhood where people trade physical books and encyclopedias. A printed set of Encyclopedia Britannica from 1995 becomes worth more than a Ferrari. Libraries become the most fortified buildings in the city, guarded by armed volunteers protecting the remaining books. The knowledge that is printed on paper is the only knowledge that survived the Great Wipe. By month 6, a new economy emerges based on physical proof and face-to-face trust. You get a job not because of your LinkedIn profile, but because you can demonstrate a skill in front of a boss. The gig economy and remote work are dead forever. If you aren't in the room, you don't have a job. Offices return to typewriters and carbon copy paper, recreating the bureaucracy of the 1950s. The internet still exists as a network of cables, but it is a ghost town with no websites to visit. Web developers and coders are unemployed, wandering the streets looking for manual labor. The entertainment industry has collapsed. Netflix, Spotify, and YouTube are empty vessels with no content. People return to live theater, concerts, and storytelling, desperate for culture that doesn't require a screen. By year 1, the world has stabilized into a strange, quiet, analog version of the 21st century. We have electricity and cars, but we navigate with paper maps and pay with physical coins. The influencer culture has vanished because there is no platform to broadcast vanity to the world. Status is no longer determined by likes or followers, but by how many physical resources you control. Elena finds an old box of Polaroids in her attic, pictures of her parents from the 1980s. She cries, realizing that these faded squares of paper are the only proof that her ancestors existed. We realize that by digitizing everything, we made our history fragile, temporary, and easily erasable. We built a library of Alexandria, but we built it out of smoke and lightning, and now it has blown away. The digital dark age is not a lack of technology, it is a lack of memory. Historians in the future will look at this period and see a blank gap, a time where nothing was recorded. The legal battles over property ownership rage for decades, settling into a system of possession is law. If you are living in the house and you have the keys, it is your house, regardless of what the old bank said. The twist in this simulation is that for many people, the Great Wipe is a liberation. No more debt. No more embarrassing tweets from 10 years ago. No more surveillance capitalism tracking your eyes. You are free to reinvent yourself, to be anyone you want, because there is no data to contradict you. The crushing weight of your digital footprint has been lifted, allowing you to walk light for the first time. But the price of that freedom is the loss of the collective intelligence of the human species. We have to rediscover how to build, how to cure, and how to govern, making the same mistakes again. Elena starts a new job as a scribe, writing down the oral histories of elders before they die. She understands now that if it isn't written in ink on paper, it didn't happen. The simulation ends not with the return of the data, but with the acceptance of its loss. We start building a new archive, carved in stone and printed on acid-free paper, designed to last 1,000 years. We vow never to trust the magnetic pulse again, never to put all our eggs in the digital basket. The new world is slower, harder, and much more forgetful, but it is undeniably real. So take a look at your smartphone, scrolling through the thousands of photos you have stored. Imagine if they vanished right now, leaving you with nothing but your own fading memory. Do you have a physical copy of your favorite photo? Do you have your important documents printed out? Or are you renting your own history from a server farm that could be wiped by a magnet? Digital amnesia is the threat that could turn us into a species with no past and no direction. Back up your life on paper, print the photos that matter, write down the stories you want to save, because when the screen goes black, the only thing that remains is what you can hold in your hand. Tell me in the comments, if you lost all your digital data today, what is the one photo you would miss the most? I'll see you in the comments, writing this down with a pen and paper just in case.